What's up? We came in the morning and we noticed that this wire is on the floor. So this is the pulley that holds the garage door that is moving, the wire moving through it. And the garage spring broke. So if you look over here, the spring broke and I put a piece of board there to hold it just in case. And the clip actually separated. If you notice, the clip separated from the ceiling. And apparently, when I used, I put a mark on the ceiling. When I used, let's see if I can see the mark with this. You can see the mark there. Apparently, when they did the clips, they didn't quite line it up with the joist of the ceiling. That could be one of the reasons. So I'm going to do a little bit of a research on this to make sure that the bolt is in the right place. If it's not quite in the right place, I'm going to remove the bolt, re-drill, and see what happens. The spring for this is one of those springs that you can actually see it over here, that it stretches. It's not above the door. And I was told that the door, after a few years, this is the door, so the door after a few years, it starts getting heavier. And the reason for that is the door actually has some sort of foam. The foam takes on moisture and it gets heavier. So initially, the spring for this, I was told was 120 pounds, but now they're saying that use 130 pounds. And that's the green color label on the actual spring. Okay, so let's take this apart and see what happens. Okay, so I took some of the bolt out and this is loose from the ceiling. And now I'm going to try to get more of these bolts out so I can take the rod out and try to figure out if whatever is in the ceiling the correct way. So I'm trying to get that rod out of the way, and I'm then going to find the correct position of the rod and then try to bolt it in. I replaced all of the bolts with a stainless steel. That's to the ceiling. So that's a screw bolt. And then I also replaced these three as well. Actually, the top one I made it a little bigger, 3/8 bolt. And the bottom two, yeah, those are still the 5/16, and that top left is 5/16 as well, just because it was rotating too much if I do some of the bolt. Then I put in the string that came off. This is the string that came off. I put that back on. And now I'm looking at the springs now. So to make sure that the garage is safely secure, I also put in a piece of wood. And now I'm about to put the strings on. So you have to change both of these strings. This one is the 130, is a green label, is 130. There's a bunch of different color codes. So this one is 130 pounds. And these doors, I was told that they get a little heavy over time, so I have to get this rather than something lighter. So this is, and it's 120, I was asked to get 130. So these are strings are going to go up. So again, to make sure that the garage is not going to have an issue, you have to put the garage door up. So I put the garage door up. So this string is old one. I'm going to have to replace that one as well. Both of these have to be replaced at the same time, just because the tension would be different over time. So both are going to be changed. So more work, but it's worth it. I'm also going to work on those bolts up there. Maybe I can add some more bolts. If you notice in here, these bolts, there's only two that is holding in the ceiling, which is all right. But to make it a little better, stronger, I put in 4. Every 7 of these slots, I put in a bolt in there, so that has a better distribution. All right, so I'm gonna try to put the string on and just make sure that the garage door is up and see how the garage door is going to work. By the way, the strings that holds the for safety, that holds the spring together, those strings are also provided here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not, but I could try using it and see what happens. Alright, so I will do that and restart the video again. Okay, so this is the new spring that's here. That's the new spring. It's kind of hard to see this. Alright, that's the new spring. This is the one that was broken, and I replaced it with the brand new spring, and I basically upsized the bolts that I could upsize. For example, this hook bolt, I changed it from what it was. I think it was a quarter, or yeah, something like a quarter. I made it into a 3/8, so that is replaced. Alright, now I took the other one apart, so let's take a look at this one. I took this one apart, and I also noticed that the bolts on this was the same exact weak bolts as the other one. So I replaced them with a stainless steel. So one every 7 there. Every 7 hole I put 2 screws. And I'm going to also replace those with a stainless steel. So I took the spring apart, and this is now secured to the ceiling. I'm going to put the new spring on. This one I also replaced the string, and I put everything back together. This is how it looks like. So I replaced some of the bolts and put in stainless steel and a little bit thicker bolts. That should probably do it. Now what we're going to do, this is all set. What we're going to have to do here is to plug this back in and see if the garage door will work. Okay, so we plug this back in. This is a locked. I'm going to leave it the way it is. And now let's try and see if we can get this board off. There's a board that I put in. Let's see if the garage door will close. First of all, it has to catch up. The engine has to catch that little. There we go. It caught it. And now we're going to put it down and see if it works. Yes, it works. So the garage door is now working. All the springs are brand new. So hopefully we get another number of years on this, and it was safely done. It has a safety cable in case it breaks again. I put the safety cable into the loop, just like in here, so if the loop breaks, the loop won't fly. So that's it.